It's really frustrating.
But you're saying your work.
This is not the first time I've had to go on podcasts where you fucking men tell me what I've made as a woman, what my worth as a woman is. I've been a nurse. I'm tired of it. Laugh at it.
So what about you? Do you have a roster right now?
I don't have a roster.
No roster?
I'm
Ever had a roster?
No.
Never had a roster?
Actually, I'm a very demisexual person, like in my personal life for the last few years. I've been through so much shit with guys. I'll be honest. This is just honesty. Make the funny noises.
What is
demisexual is like I used to need like a strong connection, so I could say
used
that.
to?
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't?
Used to,
now
yeah.
Now it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So now it's like work related. So like I said, I was a nurse for 13 years. I was a neonatal ICU nurse. I was the good girl that you guys love up until 35.
Nurses are red flags, to be honest.
Okay, that's fine. That's a red flag for you. It's a projection. But I was a nurse.
It's okay.
What is it, like studied red flag?
Were you a travel nurse?
Nope. I was a neonatal ICU nurse. I took care of sick and dying children.
Not that specifically, just you were an
never
RN.
Traveled.
RN?
RN? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, red flag.
Okay, that's your red flag.
Red flag.
That's not.
Huge red flag.
For you.
Is
that for society? Is that like studied? Is that like what?
A lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes? Who are these lot of dudes?
A lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes on your show? Or just like, is it studied? In general. Okay, cool.
In general.
Projection.
Trust.
But
Trust.
Trust.
Okay. There's a lot of nurses out there. We've all had our experiences.
I think nurses are great and we need them in society, so I think we should stop saying stuff like that. Because there's going to be a shortage of nurses soon for people like you that say that and say that nurses are red flags.
You think there's going to be a shortage of nurses?
Yes, there absolutely is going to be a shortage. Because we get treated like shit. No, we get treated like shit in the workplace. We don't make enough money. Because if I made enough money, I wouldn't be a porn star on the internet.
Nurses make pretty good money.
No, we don't.
Yeah, they do.
Let's go. Let's have this debate right now.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
You said that you wouldn't make money. You wouldn't be doing porn work if
I wouldn't. If I made more money as a nurse, absolutely not. Never.
How much were you making?
So I live in New York City. I live in Brooklyn. As a single woman, I was a nurse for 13 years. I started my career at $80,000 a year. So after 2 full weeks of working, the most intensive job, handing people their dead babies. I had a very stressful job, and I love to say this, and I love to say what nursing's really like sometimes. So I would come home, my paycheck would be like $800–900 after taxes in New York City. So after 2 weeks of full work, stressed out, 16-hour days, dealing with the most stressful job, I was at a breaking point. I was 13 years in. I would have had to work another 33 years as a nurse. And I feel like it needs to change in society, and we need to just be serious about it and have conversations about it, because I wouldn't choose what I'm doing now. I wouldn't.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did actually have a study for nurses. I thought you might find it interesting. So it is true that nurses do not have more sexual contacts than women not working their profession. Point for you, right? But more often betray their partners, up to 25% more often.
Yep.
And
Probably
more than other women, they have far more
Exactly.
oral sex, 70% to 50%, anal sex, 31% to 18%. They're far more promiscuous across the board.
Okay, that's, if it's a fact, it's a fact. What I'm saying is, let me go back to what I was saying as a nurse and why I made this decision to do what I do now. So
yeah, you can go back to what you were saying. I just wanted to,
thank you for that little clip.
You had asked if there was a study of any kind, and yes, this actually, though the research is still.
But that's not a red flag. That's just a study. Is that a red flag?
Infidelity is definitely greater likelihood.
Yeah, infidelity.
Oh, you didn't say infidelity. You just said we're more likely to have anal sex, oral sex, this and that.
No, he mentioned.
Okay, just say infidelity.
No, infidelity. 25% more likely to step out on the partner. I would say
like Grey's Anatomy.
I've actually never cheated on somebody, and I'm a nurse.
Right,
in my life.
In general.
Yeah, but
in general, in my life, I've never cheated on somebody actually. And I'm a nurse.
we understand
so
you may not have. We're just looking at why nurses would be a red flag or not.
Okay, I get that. It's studied. I get it, because everyone's.
I'm not making a judgment on nurses in terms of their profession.
I'm going to come from an
Grid One Motorsports donated $100. This panel is kinda scuffed. One must ask at this point, what mind and mood altering substances are these folks on? Guessing it is a long list. Crazy / hot matrix in full effect.
Cool.
Okay, anyway, let's get back to our conversation.
We were talking about Actually, I'm not really that interested in
In nurses and
the-
red flags? No? 'Cause
No,
you had
just
it-
in
you
the
had-
explanation of, well, here's
Why,
how much
you don't want to
money,
hear. I think
blah,
people
blah,
should
blah.
want to hear about why I decided to fuck on the internet instead of actually taking care of dying and sick children and being a great
Okay, go
something in
ahead. Give
society,
us
which
if
men
you
would
can,
men
try
would
to-
consider me a high value woman.
Well, I mean, when you
in a
put
nurse,
it
right?
that way.
Okay, yes. Let's go
The
because you wanted
Bronasons
the interesting
donated
people on this podcast.
$100. Nurses are completely full of themselves. You do not have the hardest job in the world. The Lance Corporal getting shot at has the hardest job in the world. You're not a victim, you're a thought.
So nurses are thoughts.
No, he's saying you're. I think.
So I'm asking a
that's
question.
you-
Nurses are thoughts.
You apostrophe RE. I don't think he's
So
making.
I'm a thought. Okay, I'm a thought now. But let me go back a few years ago when I was a nurse in an ICU. I didn't say I had the hard. I have
Cook.
one of the hardest jobs.
Cook.
It's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records. You could look it up. Nursing school is very challenging.
Nursing's
I'm a
the
very
hardest-
educated person.
Nursing's the hardest job.
It's one of the hardest. It's very hard.
Wait, can we, Nick? Can you pull up
Yeah,
those?
I will
wait,
look
hold on,
this up,
Nick. Pull
did
up.
you say
Nursing school.
according to the-
Nursing
pull up those
school.
videos on the fucking boat. Pull up those boat videos. Wait, there's.
I love how we can't answer my question about why I became a OnlyFans,
Well,
like
we'll get
money
to it.
and talking about
Nursing's
it all.
the hardest job.
one
What
of
about
these.
like underwater? What's it?
So would you be able to hand somebody their dying children? You think that's hard or not? Emotionally, mentally, physically, educationally. How do you think that's not hard? You be able to do it? It's like
Probably
so easy.
difficult. Yeah, it's
Okay,
probably,
it's difficult. It's a hard job.
Yeah. Probably
hard
that's
job.
another. Probably all the trauma that you see working that sort of job
Yes.
probably extends into the relationships that you have with men.
It
which,
does, and we can
which
talk
actually
about
you're
it.
arguing for my point for why women who are nurses can be a red flag
So why
because they're
can't a man-
dealing with a lot of trauma in the workplace,
Okay.
and that's going to have an impact in the
So
relationship.
there should be therapy for nurses.
You can get that on your own time, but
Okay,
it's not clear
you
to
think
me.
my
it's
insurance
not
paid for
clear
that?
to-
The insomnia. I actually tried to get a sleep study. They put me on Ambien. They a lot of stuff. Let's talk
Exhibit
about
A.
it.
Exhibit A.
Oh, I'm a red flag, right? I'm a red flag.
I mean, by your own self-admission, you're saying because of my work.
No, I'm passionate about what I do.
Because
and
of my
sticking up
work,
for nurses.
here are all the negative consequences that I've encountered in
a
my
lot of
personal
negative
life.
consequences being
And
a
a
nurse.
lot of men don't want to date women with that sort of baggage.
So why would anyone want to be a nurse? Should we change this
I'm not
in
saying it's a
society and have
bad
different
job, but,
conversations?
like-
Not call nurses red flags. It's very triggering to somebody like me where I wanted to actually take care of people. I wanted to do better in life and I wanted to be this person that I wanted to work and make a difference. And I get hit with that with my ex-boyfriend. One of my boyfriends left me because I would come home and I would cry and I would take my job home. And I know you're stressed out or you're like irritated.
This is
by
No,
this.
so
I'm-
You look
weird, though.
irritated.
How can
You're-
you say?
Hold on, wait.
Like
Just
okay, go
wait.
ahead.
Just let her finish. So you would have a tough day at
Very
work,
tough day at
and
work.
you'd go home to your boyfriend, and you'd what?
He'd say,
Cry?
he'd say, I don't want to hear about your job and your day at work because I don't want to take your. And I understand that as a person now that's older.
How is that not a red
But I was
flag?
in my early 20s.
How is that not a undesirable
Okay, it's undesirable.
scenario
Yes.
with a partner?
Yes, but I understand that because I wouldn't want to deal with that either. Sometimes someone coming home
But
and
why?
projecting
Then
their
why
job.
do you object to me
But
saying you have firsthand
was
experience
in
on
my
this? Why do you object?
20s.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Why do you object to me saying it's a red flag when you yourself have
You said
firsthand
nurses
experience?
are red flags, but not all nurses come home and do that.
Well, why risk it?
What do you mean? Why risk what?
Well, I mean, look, he
Coming home and
cited
talking to my
the
boyfriend about my
infidelity.
job?
He cited the infidelity study.
Okay.
Nursing
Yeah.
in general, in my understanding, is a stressful job.
Very stressful.
A lot of people bring their stress in their workplace back to their home life, back to their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So good for you. You're making more money than somebody who perhaps has a
But would you
little
rather
simpler
date
job.
me as a nurse? Or would you rather date me as an
I would-
OnlyFans girl because I left because of the stress? Am I more desirable now or as a nurse? Answer that question.
Oh, the OF
As a
is-
nurse,
Wait, what? What do you mean?
you would be more desirable as a nurse to date
Why?
than as an
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
It's a
the
red
OF,
flag.
The OF is worse.
Yeah,
Okay, the
but
OF is
but
worse. So you'd rather
OF
date
is
me as a
a-
nurse. So I
is
should have
another
stayed as a
major red
nurse to
flag,
find a
right?
man, right?
Uh,
Maybe
well,
I'd be married.
Well, do you?
Hang on,
do
I'm
you-
trying to answer your question,
Okay.
right? So here, let me answer your question.
Okay.
Yes, it would be more desirable to date a nurse over an OnlyFans girl, but that does not negate the fact that there would still be red flags associated with nurses. Why would these things exclude each other?
Mm-hmm. You don't
so
think doctors
to be
are red
charitable,
flags then?
hang on, to be charitable to you,
I can
you are
answer that.
right.
Okay.
I did confirm what you said, which it is true that a nursing degree is one of the hardest ranked degrees to get. So to be maximum charitable to you, you were correct about that, but that does not negate whether or not for dating that would be a red flag or not.
Okay. Would you go on a date with a nurse?
Yeah, I've dated nurses. And I have firsthand experience having dated nurses. Also, when it comes to specifically, I know there's obviously nurses who are kind of geographically locked. They don't have plans to move. But travel nurses, for example, I mean, if they've had 20 previous assignments, they've been in a place for 3 months. In my head, and I see you on a dating app, I'm thinking like that's some flight attendant shit. In each new city, you fucked a bunch of other dudes. And that's another conversation when it comes to body count. But a travel nurse, if she's on a dating app, she was on a dating app in each one of those cities, and she's looking for a short-term thing. That means her body count is ramped up. That's assuming she gets with just one guy in that city. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be a dozen.
Okay.
So travel nurse is a major...
So is that a study? Travel nurses are more promiscuous?
Well, simply by virtue,
have more sex with more guys in different cities.
I don't think there's a study, but
just your like.
Well, hold on. I'll answer. Let me answer the question.
The answer is yes.
Well, let me answer. Let me just answer. So,
study though, I just want to know.
Well, simply by virtue, if you move to a new geographical region every 3 months versus someone who's locked in one location, who's more likely to end up in a long-term relationship?
Somebody that's not traveling.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not, look, you could be a travel nurse and be a virgin, but just by virtue of you constantly moving, you're probably not going to be able to lock down. If you're going from New York and I'm moving over
travel
here.
Nursing, like if I took a travel nurse job, I don't think I'd be looking for a relationship because I don't know
So you'd just be fucking.
I wouldn't say I would be fucking. I'd be working. You know, we work a lot. So my days off.
Do you go to bars and clubs?
No, I'm almost 40 years old.
Did you ever go to?
When I was like in my early 20s. I don't care. I hate clubs.
Have you been on dating apps?
Nope.
Okay. What's your body count?
I don't actually have a little book in my house where I write it down and I'm like, today I had sex with this person and it's my body count. I don't know. But I can say that before I'm doing what I'm doing right now, I probably could have counted in the last 3 or 4 years, even being on OnlyFans, how many people I've had sex with on one hand.
Okay.
Cool. And I've been monogamous on OnlyFans as well. Laugh at me.
I'm not actually laughing at you.
No, you weren't. This guy behind me was.
I wanted to engage with you a little bit on this.
She called you out there.
So I don't know.
Brian
so
is
funny.
correct.
I'm being honest. Like I'm not lying. I'm here to be honest. Yeah.
So. Well, I mean, good. That's why I want to engage on this with you if you don't mind. So
no, I absolutely want to talk about it. Yeah, I want to talk about nurses. I want to change the stigma and everything.
Yeah. So Brian is saying that just by nature of somebody who's in a travel capacity of any kind, whether it's male or female, and there are studies which back this up, but I'm not even sure that you would need them because it kind of just goes to logic that if you're traveling around, opportunities come up far more than if you are based in a home and go to a single area for work.
Nope.
There's almost... but you just agreed that logically
nurses
earlier
work 3 to 4 days a week.
Hang on, stop. Okay. You literally just agreed not more than 5 minutes ago with Brian that it stands to reason that somebody who traveled would have more opportunity for these things than not, and now you're changing your answer.
I changed my mind, actually, the way it makes sense, because when I was a nurse, I worked 3 to 4 days a week, and those days that I was off, it doesn't matter if I'm in a different city or in my city, and if I want to go out and party and hang out and like meet guys, it doesn't matter if I'm in a different city or in my city. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but if you're a person who travels, if you're a traveling nurse or traveling salesman, it wouldn't matter. You're going to be introduced to a much wider array for people. Therefore, there's more opportunity for intermingling. That's the point.
Have you ever fucked in the hospital?
Never, ever. I actually took a code of ethics as a nurse, and we weren't allowed to do specific things, and it was very serious. Laugh about it, but I couldn't dress up as a nurse for Halloween. There's different things. You take a code of ethics, and you have to actually respect your job in a specific way. I didn't take nude photos when I was a nurse. I was still on OnlyFans, but I just sold specific type of content until I left my job, and I respected my profession, and I always will.
Okay. Well, I don't think we need to linger too long on the nursing thing. But
I truly say that, like, I'm not a mom. I'm almost 40 years old, so I've been down this path where I tell my friends, like, don't start OnlyFans unless you're okay with the decisions you make. Like, I'm okay with maybe being single at this point in my life. I'm okay with maybe not having kids. Maybe that's what I wanted when I was 30. but I have to worry about myself at some point in my life, and I'm okay with the decisions I make, and I'm having a little bit of fun with it.
You're super rational, too. At least so far, you seem to be rational, and you're willing to have a good rational discussion. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I've been kind of wondering. You said you don't plan on having kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
but
it's not
you
that I don't
know...
plan on having kids. If I had kids, I would want to be a stay-at-home mother. I wouldn't want to be on OnlyFans. I say that all the time.
I understand that.
Yeah,
and I don't even think that that's hypocritical.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
But my question is knowing that this will probably take many of those advantages away from having children with mate selection, this kind of thing. You do realize that you could end up becoming a genetic dead end.
Well, okay.
And isn't that terrifying to think of, that you could literally end up becoming a genetic dead end?
Well,
I mean, you shake your head, but you're a lot younger. You got to remember that
I'm not younger.
No. The gal next to you, she was shaking her head, and I'm like, you're younger. Younger women always think that there's time. There's not as much as you think.
What if I don't want to have kids though?
What's that?
What if I just don't want to have kids?
What's really funny
I don't
is
want to reproduce myself because I know my shithead.
What happens often with young women, and yes, there's studies for this if you want to see them, but what often happens with younger women is they think they have a prolonged absence of time. They don't even think about it. What's interesting, though, is that once they come to the end of their biological clock, you start to see their panic set in. Must have kids, must have kids. Your body will actually tell you to do this. It'll give you overwhelming urges to do this.
What about just adopting cats?
Right now, it's easy to be like, well, I don't even want kids. But what always happens on TikTok is there's a woman crying in her face going, oh, I can't believe I waited this long and now I can't have kids.
Well, that sucks for that girl. I'm not like her. I hold
that's what they
true
say.
to myself.
That's what they said. That's what they all say, right?
Man, I'm 33. I'm not as young as you think. I don't know what you thought I was.
How old?
I'm 33.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean...
I don't give a shit
The overwhelming urge may still come over you yet.
I doubt it.
But sometimes I feel like in society there needs to be a conversation where, like, why are women, like, choosing to, like... I don't feel... Sometimes I always tell men, like, I don't feel emotionally safe. And I've dated so many men in my life that I kind of just want to worry about myself. And, like, we've worked so hard. Like, I was a nurse struggling for years. Then I was an influencer, Instagram. And this is kind of like that last-ditch effort to, like, make more money to feel comfort and safe in my life and to support myself. So it's not something that, like, sometimes you guys think that we're bad people or that we're doing this because we want to and we're, like, these, like, slutty whores. It's also to, like, provide for ourselves because we're not in this relationship, or I did the society normal.
Feminism sold you a lie.
Well, I understand what you're saying,
but I feel like at this point in my life, like, I got to figure it out for myself. And
you're looking for peace. That's what you're looking for.
I'm looking
right? That's what it sounds like. You're looking for peace.
And I've actually found peace, and I found peace through money, and that's what it is. Because if nursing paid me, it sucks, but it's society's norm. Like, if nursing, I was trying to say this before, if nursing paid me 30, 40, 50K a month, I would run back to nursing tomorrow. That's my calling in life.
$50,000 a month?
How many nurses make that much?
None.
No, that's insanity.
But I'm saying
doctors don't make that a month.
Attendings, like, but I'm saying on OnlyFans we can make 10, 20, 30K. I'm just saying, like, the range. Nursing, I was making, like, less than $4,000 a month, and it was very stressful. So I feel like... Yes.
Wait. No, you weren't making less than $4,000 a month. You said you're working 60 hours a week.
After taxes. I'll be honest.
No,
don't tell me
that's not even possible.
Do you want me to pull up my
I will pay you $1,000 right now. I literally send it to you right now.
I will
if you show me a pay stub of you working 60 hours a week every week, and you pulled in less than $4,000,
13 days
I'll send you $1,000 right now.
Okay, let's talk later. It's 13. I'll be honest. I worked for 13 years as a neonatal ICU nurse. It's 13 shifts a month. Some weeks were after taxes and the union dues and everything, $800. My biggest paycheck was $1,100. I did this for years. I was struggling, living paycheck to paycheck as a nurse.
Well, then that's not 60 hours a week.
It's what a nurse's shift is. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. You said you work 60 hours a week.
12-hour shifts, but I'm saying I left my house.
Yeah, but 12-hour shifts, you can work 1 day a week.
How many days a week were you working?
I was working 3. Okay, so as a nurse, I'm just being...
So 36 hours a week?
Can I try to educate you? As a nurse, my day is like I would wake up at 5 in the morning. I'd get to work at 7. I work 7 to 7. I worked nights for 4 years.
Yeah.
So
you
I
work
worked
12s.
12s.
Yeah.
1 day a week I'd work the 4 days a week as a nurse. So you work 13 shifts a month. So depending on like how you do your shifts, but depending on if you work nights or days, I didn't say I worked 60 hours a week. There were 16-hour days because basically like you wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm not getting home until like, God forbid, I wanted to go to the food store after work, or I wanted to go to the gym and try to, people always say like, you could have a family and do all this stuff. And I would see nurses.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Well, actually now I do care a little bit.
But I'm just saying, like, this is so frustrating. I come on all these podcasts and I try to explain, like, as a woman.
Listening.
And as a woman, and it's like explaining why I made this decision and why a lot of other females and women typically make this decision. You guys need to listen to this as a society. You made
over $30 an hour, I'm guessing.
I've made over $100,000 a year with overtime in New York City.
Okay, but I'm asking, you made over $30 an hour?
Graduating college, yes, I've made over 30 for sure, yeah.
Okay, then it's actually impossible. It's actually impossible for you to have only netted in $4,000 a month. It's not even a possibility.
I live in New York City and I pay state.
But if you're talking about your shifts, if you're talking about your shifts,
33% taxes, 33% on $100,000 a year.
Almost done. At 40 hours a week, that would not be possible.
Union dues. I said union dues. I said other things that came out of my paycheck.
Not even with union dues.
Shut the fuck up.
Do I have to pull up my paycheck to actually be like? Yeah. This is the problem with men telling women that they don't know what they're talking about.
Math
is math. Shut up, because I lived this for 13 years. No, you shut up. You shut up.
You shut the fuck up.
Disgusting. Math is math, lady. Right now is disgusting. Literally, I did this for 13 years.
Money is worthless in the pockets of professional sinners. The West is dying because the family is dying. Men will refuse
war. It's so disrespectful as a woman.
Are you ladies ready to be drafted since men have the freedom to leave?
Why don't you guys put your wangs away?
But why can't I just be honest about my job and as what I went through as a woman? And you guys be honest about it. It's really frustrating.
But you're saying your work.
This is not the first time I've had to go on podcast where you fucking men tell me what I've made as a woman, what my worth as a woman is. I've been a nurse. I'm tired of it. Laugh about it.
Brian, that's awful.
Would you treat your daughter like that? Would you treat somebody you know like that?
The thing is that if anybody
like, let's make fun of nurses, somebody that gave up their life and went to school and did all this to take care of people.
But he's questioning your math on the.
My math? I lived it. I lived in New York City. I had to budget my money, and I lived paycheck to paycheck. This
is kind of a boring conversation, anyways.
It's boring. I'm sorry it's boring to you, but this is honesty, and I'm being honest. I came on this podcast to be fucking honest. Why would I sit here and lie?
And I'm being honest.
Okay, I'm gonna totally get my paychecks. I'm gonna pull them up.
Right.
Like, next time I come, we'll get them.
It's a cool. We'll do it.
I'll show you like how much money I made and how to live off of. What a bullshit thing that you have to say to me.
You said that this podcast is not about making fun of women and that I put words in your mouth, but you're using your stream deck and Nick is using his end
that was
definitely Nick.
To call her a B word, to laugh at her. Like, how is this?
Who called her? I didn't call her.
Well, you guys have a prompt that says.
You're like insisting that this is the kind of money I made, and I'm like literally telling. I would never tell you. You told me your wife you would leave her if she did this in her past.
Wait,
I said okay.
Hey Andrew, what I forget. What is this tone policing that she's doing? Is that what it is? Is that what that's called?
No, she's full of shit.
Up for another woman.
Voicing. But the thing is funny is like, look, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling you that based on 60 hours a week.
I didn't say I worked.
Did
I say I worked 60 hours a week?
You did.
16-hour days. I didn't say 60-hour weeks.
All right.
It's irrelevant. But like, let's argue about it all day.
Let's just move on.
Yeah. Newsflash: if someone's on the verge of tears, you should drop it, because then it becomes abusive.
It becomes what?
Oh God! Stop whining. You know what I mean? Have an adult conversation. Stop being a whiner.
She's strong.
She's an adult.
I'm a very strong woman.
She's chilling.
She's
chilling. She's enjoying it.
But I'm so passionate
She's enjoying it.
She's actually more of an adult and more honest than you are.
I'm so passionate about nursing.
But you notice how you can only inhale insults. You can't be an adult without inhaling insults. Calling someone stupid, you called her stupid.
God, stick and stone.
She was on the well of tears.
Being an adult.
No,
she was on the well of tears.
Look, you can say.
Stop. The Bronasons donated $100. Of course she's going to cry. Oh, how sad. You had to earn a degree in the greatest country on earth.
I'm not crying
These
about
women lack accountability and men need to go overseas and marry. Play Helldivers 2 boys.
It's frustrating trying to talk to men who are like putting you down.
The reason I came up with this is because at the rate I came up with $7,200 a month. That's why when you said 4,000, even with union dues at 60 hours a week,
it's 33% taxes in New York City.
I was like, no fucking way, that can't be possible.
Why are we arguing about this? It's 33% taxes, union dues.
Who the hell cares?
He cares. He cares.
All right, stop. We're gonna move on. All right. Actually, we're gonna go back.